Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Rhea Ripley made shocking remarks in a recent social media update. Reacting to the Eradicator's comments, backstage interviewer Kathy Kelly petitioned the wrestling promotion to move her back to Monday Night Raw. The two stars share a great dynamic and can often be seen playfully flirting via social media updates. However, earlier today, the former member of the Judgment Day shared a quirky response to WWE official Daphne LaShawn's X/Twitter post about catching someone breaking the rules. Rhea noted that if she got caught, her next move would be to kiss the female referee. Ripley's X/Twitter update caught Kathy Kelly's attention. In response, she quote-tweeted the post and petitioned to be sent back to Monday Night Raw from SmackDown. The 36-year-old jokingly noted that the Eradicator had moved on from her amid Kelly's absence from the Red brand. Petition for a WWE to put me back on Mondays. She's already moved on, weary face emoji, crying face emoji, Kelly wrote. Wrestling veteran shares intriguing opinion about Rhea Ripley's in-ring work. WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash recently advised the Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez to make full use of her size advantage against smaller opponents. Speaking in a recent edition of the Wrestling Outlaws, wrestling veteran Vince Russo noted that Rhea Ripley had a similar issue of selling for opponents much smaller than her. The ex-WWE head writer added that the former Women's World Champion should also follow the advice Kevin Nash gave to Raquel Rodriguez. I gotta be honest, Rhea Ripley is in that same category as far as I am concerned. Absolutely. How many times have we spoken about Rhea Ripley selling to somebody half her size? We talked about that every single week. When it comes to big man psychology, I would listen to Kevin Nash, Russo said. The Eradicator is booked for a title match at WWE SummerSlam. She will wrestle Io Sky and the Women's World Champion, Naomi, for the title in a triple threat match. Only time will tell if Ripley can finally win back the gold at the biggest party of the summer. The energy backstage at WWE had been electric ever since Rhea Ripley made her recent, headline-grabbing remarks about the future of Monday Night Raw. The Eradicator, always one to speak her mind, didn't hold back when she suggested that Raw needed to reclaim its edge and stop pretending to be second best to SmackDown. While her words were meant to rally her brand, they also struck a nerve with a certain star who had been quietly biding their time on Friday nights. When Finn Balor heard Rhea's comments, something inside him stirred, a mix of pride, challenge, and a desire to return to the place he once called home. Ever since the Judgment Day had splintered and reshaped itself in the wake of Damian Priest's World Heavyweight title reign, Finn had felt out of place on SmackDown. He still did his job, putting on stellar matches, elevating younger talent, but Raw had always felt like his canvas. And now, with Rhea firing shots about reclaiming the brand's glory, Finn knew exactly where he needed to be. At first, the idea was just a whisper in his own mind. But as he stood in the locker room after a brutal SmackDown taping in Charlotte, staring at the Judgment Day logo on his bag, the whisper turned into resolve. He tossed his tape into the bin, grabbed his phone, and texted Triple H directly. Hunter. We need to talk. Raw needs me back. Let's make it happen. It wasn't unusual for Finn to bypass the middleman. His history with Hunter went back years, through NXT, through his first Universal title run, through injuries and rebirths. If there was anyone who would understand why he wanted this, it was the game himself. But Finn didn't stop there. He decided that if he was going to do this, he would do it publicly. By Saturday morning, he had drafted a statement for his social media. It wasn't dramatic or desperate, just classic Finn, direct, confident, and brimming with unspoken challenge. Raw is where I made history. Raw is where I belong. If we're talking about reclaiming the edge, I want in. At WWE, let's do this. Within minutes, #FinnBackToRaw was trending worldwide. Fans and pundits erupted in speculation. Was this a storyline? Was this real? Was Finn Balor fed up with SmackDown, or was he setting himself up to reunite with Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day under one roof again? Backstage on Raw, Rhea was finishing up her training session when someone showed her Finn's post. She chuckled at first, typical Finn, always up for a fight. But she couldn't deny a flicker of excitement. She had made those remarks to fire up her roster, to push the complacent and silence the doubters. She hadn't expected they'd reach across the aisle and pull a former Judgment Day leader back into her orbit. When Raw went live that Monday night, the air was thick with expectation. The show opened with Adam Pearce standing in the ring, a contract folder in hand. He looked unusually amused as the audience chanted, "We want Finn." "Seems like you all heard the rumors," Pierce said, a sly grin on his face. "So let's get right to it." Before he could continue, Finn's music hit. The arena exploded. The lights dimmed to purple and black, and the prince walked out wearing a leather jacket and that unmistakable smirk. He soaked in the reaction, pointing at the Raw logo above the ring. Once inside the ropes, Finn took the mic from Pierce. "Adam, I don't need a speech. I don't need a big reveal. All I need is that contract." Pierce held up the folder, teasingly pulling it back as Finn reached for it. "Just so we're clear, Finn, this isn't just a trade. This is you stepping back into the fire. Raw is different now. It's not just the Judgment Day's playground anymore. You sure you're ready for this?" Finn didn't flinch. "I'm not just ready. I am the fire." With that, he signed the contract right there in the ring. The crowd roared as he raised it over his head like a championship. But before he could even bask in the moment, the Titantron flickered to life. Rhea Ripley's face filled the screen, her Women's World Championship resting on her shoulder. "Welcome back, Finn," she said, her tone dripping with equal parts amusement and warning. "You wanted in? You got it. But this isn't the Raw you left behind. So before you go claiming your old turf, remember, this is my show now. And everyone, even you, answers to mommy." Finn only grinned. "We'll see about that." The tension electrified the WWE universe. The rumors that Rhea wanted to expand her influence on Raw, maybe even rebuild the Judgment Day around her terms, suddenly didn't seem so far-fetched. Finn's return wasn't just about nostalgia, it was about power. Who would lead? Who would follow? Backstage, superstars were buzzing. Seth Rollins, still nursing a nagging injury, was heard telling producers, "If Finn wants to shake things up, I'm all for it. Raw could use a little chaos, just not at my expense." Meanwhile, Damian Priest, watching from SmackDown's side, posted a cryptic tweet. "Careful what you wish for. Old ghosts come back to haunt you." Fans speculated endlessly. Would Finn and Rhea reunite? Would they clash? Would Raw see a new era of the Judgment Day, one forged in the fires of old grudges and new ambitions? By the end of the night, WWE's social media was on fire. Merchandise for Finn Balor, Raw claimed sold out within hours. Rumors swirled that Triple H was considering booking Finn and Rhea in a mixed tag program to test the waters of a reformed alliance, or a brewing civil war. As the lights dimmed and the crew tore down the set, Finn sat alone in the gorilla position, scrolling through the endless chatter online. He knew what he was doing wouldn't just change his path. It could shift the entire balance of Raw. And that was exactly what he wanted. When a producer asked if he wanted a ride back to the hotel, Finn just shook his head. He had his bag over his shoulder and that unmistakable glint in his eyes. "Raw's home now," he said. "Time to remind them who built it." And somewhere down the hall, Rhea Ripley, watching the same feed, couldn't help but smile. Because she knew that with Finn back on Raw, the real fight had only just begun.